If this truly is it, hats off to a phenomenal run. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kevin Zwicker from Fast Count coming at you. Before I get into this video, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe. With the chatter becoming louder and louder that the Royal Rumble is in fact going to be the last match in the career of AJ Styles, we see something that is going to stoke the flames even more. And that was tonight. We saw AJ Styles versus CM Punk for the first time ever in WWE in the main event for the world title. We start off this episode of Monday Night Raw with AJ Styles kicking it off and basically saying that, he put all his chips in the middle of the table for his match against Gunther at the Royal Rumble. He goes on to talk about how it's no secret that he has stated that 2026 is going to be the last year for AJ Styles. And he goes on to talk about how he doesn't necessarily want it to be kind of like John Cena, but he does not plan for his last match to be at the Royal Rumble against Gunther. He speaks about how he wants to have a couple more matches against a couple of other people around the world. He talks about how he wants to be the world champion again. And as soon as he talks about wanting to be the world champion again, we see the arrival of CM Punk. CM Punk, he talks to AJ Styles about how he may have bitten off more than he can chew, challenging Gunther and putting his career on the line. We see AJ Styles and CM Punk go back and forth where AJ talks about how Punk doesn't think he can beat Gunther. Then he goes on to speak about how after he beats Gunther, he wants to go up against CM Punk for the world title. We see more back and forth between these two guys. We get a match announced that it was official that in the main event of this episode of Monday Night Raw, we're going to get CM Punk versus AJ Styles for the title. One thing that I kind of want to note from this promo that AJ Styles has, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase this, and this is going to be something that people are going to want to cling hope on, was he brought up how the Royal Rumble could be his last match in the WWE. I know some people are going to want to take that and cling on to some hope and say, well, shoot, maybe we might get another match in TNA. Maybe even more unlikely, we might see him have a match in AEW. But I do think that this is officially going to be it. But we see in the main event these two guys go at it for the first time in WWE. I think this was a very solid matchup between these two guys. You kind of knew that we weren't going to get a straight up finish, and we saw Finn Balor interject himself into this match. Throughout this episode of Monday Night Raw, we saw Finn Balor kind of deal with a situation where he had the devil on his one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder, where him and CM Punk, they had a backstage confrontation where CM Punk told Finn Balor that if you want to be a champion, you need to get away from the Judgment Day. We saw Liv Morgan try to talk to Finn Balor. Another point in this episode of Monday Night Raw where she tells him that the Judgment Day is his family. So we see this guy going back and forth, and he was able to interject himself into this main event. I think it's really starting to creep up on people that the Royal Rumble is going to be AJ Styles' last match, and it makes sense to an extent. His first appearance in WWE was at the 2016 Royal Rumble. Him ending his WWE career at the 2026 Royal Rumble makes a lot of sense. We saw Nakamura after their match on Saturday night's main event, where he put this lengthy Instagram post where he brought up the fact that AJ Styles told him that he has decided that his last match is going to be at the Royal Rumble, which was a big mistake by Nakamura on his end, and I don't think he intentionally did that. I think that he probably just had a brain fart, because in no way, shape, or form do I think that he spoiled the end of his career purposefully, but it's taken down now. But you know how the internet works. As long as one person sees it, it's there forever. But this is going to be kind of unfortunate, man, because I think that we can see throughout the last couple of weeks, especially, that AJ can still go. This isn't a guy who is at a point in his career where this is a guy who's a shell of himself. I think that he is still at a point where AJ Styles that is at 75 to 80% of his peak. I think it's still better than probably 85% of the current roster. And it's a guy who I think still has plenty of matches that if he ever decided that he wanted to go to AEW, which I don't think that he does, I think that he has become, him and Kevin Owens, of guys who have become very much so flag bearers for a WWE. Two guys that I know that a lot of people who've always fantasy booked going to AEW, but I think that they are what the internet likes to deem as fedbots through and through. I think he could still go with the best of them, but he wants to go out on top. He wants people to remember, him still being the AJ Styles of old. And I don't think that there's any better opponent to lose to than Gunther. I think it's kind of sucky that it's going to be in Saudi Arabia and not in, somewhere like, Orlando or Georgia, his home state, or Nashville, another part that's really synonymous with TNA. But hey, it is what it is. And the guy is going out on his own terms. That's at least what it looks like it's going to be. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Did you enjoy the match between AJ and Punk? Are you going to be sad to see AJ go? What is your all-time favorite AJ Styles matchup? I am Kevin Zwicker. I'm out.